Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you again after the first day yesterday. Like yesterday, I'm going to share a presentation to share information and show you what we learned also and how other factors are helping with the improvement of our strategy. And through the national program that is known by the name Bienvenue en France, or Choose France in its English version. And so how it works, how it helped us change and improve our ways of participating to those this initiative, and really you have a very concrete idea at the end of my presentation. So Bienvenue en France, just to give you the framework, is mainly a diplomatic initiative to foster the attractivity of French higher education in general. And I will explain to you how it came into effect. And I'm just checking, are the slides changing as I speak, as on your side?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you. So, Bienvenue en France, Choose France. It's, as I said, it's a diplomatic initiative launched in late 2018 and mainly 2019 that aims at reaching 500,000 international students in France by 2027. And in 2019, so before the COVID-19 again, we were around the figure of 324,000. So the ambition is great. It's not multiplying by two, but almost. And it gave us the framework to really reorganize and maybe complement the strategies that were being implemented in each university. So how is this program supposed to be implemented? There are a certain number of focus ideas. First is facilitation of visa procedures with diplomatic strategies that are country specific. They are focusing on the policy might be different from one country to the other. The second point would be the rise of number of classes taught in English and in French as a second language. The French academic community was very keen on defending the French language, and now we are being invited to increase our offer of courses in English, and it's quite a long-term process and a collective process, as we mentioned before. We were given the opportunity to implement a quality label, very much with quite a strong insistence from our ministry. Basically, we had to go into this process to check whether we met the criteria for this quality label, and I'm going to go over them in a few minutes. The raise of the tuition fees for extra EU degree-seeking students. This is a very highly controversial point, and also we'll have a few words on this. And the fifth point, the idea of Choose France was also to create more French campuses abroad. So you have a number of institutions that have created international campuses for French universities, but in many parts of the world. And a strong emphasis on communication through the various Instituts Français, the French embassies all over the world, sometimes the Alliance Française, through many means. So I'll go over these six elements. So first, the facilitation of visa procedures. Again, it differs very much from one country to the other, as our friends from Northern Africa already know. In some countries, you have many students asking to get visas to come to France, and the policy might be more restrictive than the demand. And to the contrary, there are special programs to try to attract more students from other countries that have been very low in our ranking of students' origin. One example is India, for example. There's a big emphasis on trying to attract more Indian students in France, but that's just one example. In concrete terms, it goes through the cooperation between the universities and the international offices, namely with our préfecture, so the institutions in charge of delivering le titre de séjour and all the migration, applying the migration policy for France. I'm mentioning also other processes that are going in the same direction, that are not namely within the Choose France initiative, but for example, the digitization of the procedures for the titre de séjour, which is very recent, and it also contributes to this objective. And for example, another example, which is not directly linked, but is also in the same wave, I would say, with the development of the visa Passeport Talent for researchers that facilitates the staying in France for researchers as compared to what was being done before. The second point I want to raise is focuses on the languages and how to raise the number of classes taught in English in French universities, and also to improve the offer of French as a second language. So on the one side, we are offering more classes in English, so we are accepting the idea that you need to have English classes to attract international students, but at the same time, we want to strengthen the capacity of teaching French to these international students. So it goes both ways. So in many universities, and in the University of Montpellier, there have been English training offered for professors and staff, so that they transferred their teaching material to English, and that they were given guidance to improve even at the pedagogy to adapt it to international students. Financial support was given to French as a second language programs in universities, again to enhance and to improve the capacity to receive more students, and to offer sometimes free classes for the international students because they were paid by this program. And again, another label which is not strictly part of the Choose France, Bienvenue en France program, but it's also going in the same direction. There has been the development and the spreading of this quality label for French as a second language, also in all the institutes that are teaching French, both in France and abroad. So the promotion of quality labels is being pushed in various aspects of our academic cooperation. So if we go to if we arrive to the label that really was a work for universities to grasp and to implement. So of course it was also the program and the process was also highly disturbed by the COVID-19, but it started in 2019 with the launch of self-evaluation. The ministry gave us the indicators that I'm showing on the slide, and each university had to make a self-assessment in regard with these indicators. So I didn't give you the full list of the 20 indicators, but I just give you the 5 chapters. So the first one is quality and access to information. So it had to make sure that all the universities and all the higher education institutions had a website, of course, in French, but also in English, and maybe preferably in a third language. And then it depended on the strategy, whether you choose Spanish, whether you choose Arabic, whether you choose Portuguese, Chinese, depending on who your main audience would be. We had to make sure that the catalog of courses was easily accessible on the website as well, and there are several other elements regarding the quality and the access to information from afar. I would say, like when students are still at home and they're thinking about going and studying abroad, and how the quality of the information might help them choose France. And then we get to the second point of the quality and access to welcome services. So that's the second stage. Once they have chosen France and once they are getting ready to come, or once they are just arrived, we developed special services for welcoming the students. Most of the time, these services were already existing because that's the work we were doing. It was sometimes just a matter of labeling them and organizing them in the way that the label was asking. So there was sometimes it was not all the time a matter of creating new services, but sometimes just a matter of organizing the services in a way that it was more visible and it would meet the organization of the label. The third point goes to what I was mentioning in my previous slides, the access and support to teaching. So the organization of tutoring for international students by French students, the increase of the digital services. So like many of us all around the world, because of the COVID-19 and because of the distance education, we had to improve our digital services, both infrastructure and the class, the teaching offers, and the support also for our international offices, for example. So we worked on this as well. And as I mentioned, the classes in English and the French as a second language. The fourth point is focusing on housing and quality of campus life. So in France, we are working closely with our partner from the CRUS. So CRUS are the regional institution that helps with the student residences and the student restaurants and other aspects that deals with cultural life on campus, theaters, other kinds of activities. And of course, we work very closely with their services. And each French university has their own CRUS, their local CRUS that organize the campus life, and they work hand in hand to improve this. And finally, the post-degree services, we are trying, and it meets and it goes in parallel with what we have been improving, even for French students over the past 10 years, how to help our students get their first jobs. So services and advice for employment, services for and advice for entrepreneurship, how to create your own company, how to look for funding and support and advice from maybe company CEOs already, and also the development of an alumni network. So there's at various levels, you have an alumni network at the level of the university, sometimes at the level of the school. For example, our business school, IAE or MUMA, they might have their own network, and also Campus France is offering its own national alumni network, and they're asking us to promote that. For this point as well, these were services that were already existing and that are already going on by other parts, other services, other departments within the university, and sometimes we're just trying to like give a little bit of international flavor to it, or give to facilitate the access to this information to international students, because this is not naturally, I would say, maybe the departments that they would go and check in a natural way. I'll go on with the question of what we call differentiated tuition fees, or there was a decision by the ministry to raise the tuition fees for extra EU degree-seeking students quite spectacularly, and it has been highly controversial, and so far the answer by universities has been to waive this policy. So university presidents would choose to say that no, we're still going to apply French and EU tuition fees for all students, regardless of their nationality, and so it will raise questions in terms of budget and subsidies by the ministry, but this is a highly controversial topic. So and not everything is sorted out. It's still, every year we need to address this question and to choose the position. It's not up to the international offices, but it's university policy. And just to give you, the governmental arguments were to choose equity over equality, and to show that actually if we apply very low costs in France, it's because we receive subsidies by the French citizens' taxes. But again, that hot topic that is changing every year, and as we are entering a year of presidential election, who knows what might happen? We'll see. And but so far, so good. Most universities have chosen to waive this raise of tuition fees. To finish with the presentation of the general policy, so I mentioned there are more and more French campuses abroad. Some French universities, mostly business schools, some art schools as well, have developed campuses abroad. Sometimes common campuses. They have an agreement with either a university in the country, or several European universities can combine their efforts to create a campus in a distant part of the world. And of course, there has been quite an increased and improved communication by Campus France in all over the world. And I just picked a few posters announcing the Choose France promotion events, or for PhD in Mexico. So the first one on the left is in India, the second one is in Mexico, the third one is in Senegal. So there has been such fairs or tours or information virtual events to keep promoting French higher education offer within all the partner countries. At the University of Montpellier, of course, we participated in this. I didn't mention it, but in my previous slide, we, like many universities, we received 2 stars out of 3. So we'll get the third one when we are fully compliant with the third language website, and maybe with improved catalog of English courses. But so we are still working with all our other departments to make sure that we meet the criteria, and we show that we meet the criteria, and when we cannot meet them, try to improve the topics that are being underperformed. But sometimes it's a long process, and as you said before, it's also a collective process. So we're trying to make sure that our colleagues pay attention to this label and also are willing to work with us to improve the situation. So from 2019 to this year, there has been the creation or the reorganization or the promotion of a welcome desk. So both online and both in real life, I would say. So to make sure that all the services are given to the international students coming. We organized the Welcome Week, so it's a week where it's a mix of information, cultural events, fun, also, different ways of discovering the city, discovering the campus, and all this. And also, we've been working with our colleagues on the improvement of French as a second language and English courses and training for the professors. This year we are going to work. These are a few elements, but we are going to work on the services for the alumni and the employment aspects. And we know that a lot is being done already, and we might just have to find a way to make sure that they promote also these devices for international students, and we have to make sure that we give them the proper visibility on our website. So that will be one of the aspects of improvement for this year. And also the promotion of international students when you have people who were selected for the Eiffel Scholarship or for other kinds of foreign government scholarships like BECAL for Latin American PhD students, for other types of initiatives. We are going to prepare individual portraits, and so show like who are the students who have been successful, where they are studying, how they are getting along. And it's a nice way to promote the international activity of the faculty where they work, of the partner where they are coming from and in the country. And we are going to try to have some impact with the communication with the French embassies in those countries to make sure that, hey, we are receiving students from your country in Montpellier, and Montpellier should be on your map in terms of quality university to receive your students. And
could you please try and perhaps get to your conclusion perhaps a little faster?
Yeah, I'm just finishing. The last point will be the video. It's a 2-minute video to show how it happened in September this year.